one that they're very well versed on, especially domestically. So yeah, I think you're going to be happy with this either way. But for me, I'm kind of siding with the GG bet odds here. I'm staying like Eternal Fire are definitely the favorites. I think it's going to take some of the right pieces. You know, your Liazes, for example, your Sickos, having these great games that they can have. You're going to need that to happen.
You need to avoid slow starts, right? And that's, you know, really troubled Renegades in the past, especially today, right? If players like Liaz came in with like 4 kills after 10, 12 rounds. He stepped up by the end, but it was just Renegades trying to pull it back against Forza on that CT side of Nuke, and they couldn't long it out long enough. But we are in. We are here, and we are ready to go. 0-1 games. No one wants to be up with their back against the wall, but the loser of this will have no choice in the matter.
Yeah, there's a reason why that 9Z run at 0-2 down is so talked about. It's because it's so unlikely, it's so tricky to battle back from that position. So there's a lot riding on this BO1 right now. Xantares over here in the A bomb site, going to have Emor with him. And contact is about to be made over on the short side. Xantares goes swinging in. He's able to get the opener. Will do the second time around. And so already Renegades find themselves a man down. They were hoping here that on the back of showing aggression at A early, they might force, you know, an overextension down towards B ramp. Someone tries to push for info. Maybe you hear the rotations get pulled away, but going a man down, that plan's gone a bit awry now, and they might have to look for some other answers here.
Yeah, it's a terrifying setup with Woxic not peeking at all. Would love a USP in the quad, but ultimately, as long as he doesn't face too early and wait till Renegades commit, this little bait player on the bomb site will draw them in. X-Filed stays alive, drops a smoke to cause commotion, and there's a molly in as well. Renegades, they are walking into a heavy-handed bomb site. Woxic peeks, but now he's trapped, and he's given up his position. He needs a kill from this one. Renegades are not in a hurry, not pleased to hunt him down, but they have to go. 40 seconds and 4 players here. Are they going to run boost through? It's desperate.
Yeah, I mean, they're hoping for a way in. They're hoping for like an over peak, an over swing. But
finally!
Yeah, finally going to get cleared out. It felt like it was a long time coming, and he's done a good job of at least slowing this down, right? There's no momentum in this B play, but still, oh my goodness, 1 second. Liaz has turned it on its head. It's just Emor running in. He's a little shaky, a little scared here in the 1v2. 2 bullets, they both got to count, and none of them do. Liaz with a wonderful pistol to turn that all around for Renegades. They shouldn't have won that.
No, that is literally what we wanted as well. I was just saying how Liaz didn't start strong back on Nuke earlier on. Well, that is a fantastic beginning to the game. Yeah, it felt like Woxic didn't need to keep refacing, right? He had his entire team calling that the cross was clear. No one had made it to him. Very hungry for those fights, and sometimes a P2K lets you down. But yeah, you know, facing early and the Renegades call it off. They chill in a 4-on-5. Surprising to see them get away with that round. They're going to go back to the A ramp, where you'll see the majority of these T rounds lead. Hats take space early with the MAC-10, but the rifles are slinking away. Meanwhile, Eternal Fire don't have that information. Silent for Renegades. Still, Eternal Fire won't fall for fakery or foolery. They'll stay 2B.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar to how the pistol began, right? Just trying to manipulate these rotations on the back of showing this top ramp aggro. That's a good flash to set up X-Filed, but it's nothing more than a one and done. Emor's going to have to get this smoke out to try and delay the B play.
The nade blew the flash off. Emor's trying to grab it off the ground. It's got a bit weird now because of that flash peak. Even though it's 1-for-1, you feel like that's quite good. But what that did allow Eternal Fire to get is the info, right? Renegades know that there's going to be an immediate rotate with the bomb being spotted, with 3 more players being seen. So they'll walk back A, and this is fine. They don't have the smokes for a wall, however. So got to duel their way into the bomb site right now. Calyx will meet them there. Doesn't hit the smoke. That's important. They don't know he's close. Dig up in the face. Takes one out of hands. Looks for another. Very shaky. MAC-10 out now. Renegades are running out of time.
Calyx trying to do what he can with the MAC-10. It's only the double over on short. Xantares is getting chased down as well, but he's got support from Woxic, and he's going to swing out with the Deagle to put a stop to that round there. Eternal Fire, good rotations out of the gang, right? They very quickly pieced together what the game plan was looking like on the back of the B info, and then they never gave up on A. They never overcommitted to that B side lean.
Yeah.
I think it's already kind of clear that Renegades want to manipulate these rotations a lot, and so Eternal Fire is trying to get ahead of that.
Yeah, not that they've made a mistake to feel punished yet, but that's definitely true. And 2 rounds in, Eternal Fire won't be leaving bomb sites empty when Renegades have the numbers to run fake rounds. So that's going to limit this T side. A lot of what Vertigo comes down to is where are the Ts, where are the bulk, where are they committing, and is it real? So Eternal Fire right now have figured out the early round for Renegades. Looking to duel down B, Liaz,
That's
beautiful
lovely.
headshot. And he really has started strong. These pistols have done him well. All 5 kills coming from him. Gonna have to drop as the molly lands, but Renegades with a 5-on-4. What they decide to do, lacking the utility. They have 2 smokes if they wanted to run a wall on A, but that requires getting the ramp control, something that Calix isn't offering up. Another B flash peek, but Emor sees nothing with it, and that's a bit of a misinformation peek, as Renegades are all here right now.
I mean, because they're a man down, like that little info play carries a lot of weight in how they're going to structure this CT side hold, right? You kind of take a bit more of a gamble in a moment like this. They pad out middle to allow for a faster rotate between the two, and now Emor's got this info that it's looking like the B play still. He's dead after 1. They start to move in now. It's a good nade out of Woxic. 35 seconds as Renegades attempt to get on by, and they're churned up by this double lean out of Xantares and Woxic. As they go back towards A, Calix is going to hear all these footsteps, the pitter-patter of these rotations. So he's in the right place at the right time again. Liaz is still very much alive, still very much in this one, but for how much longer? Up through ramp, he's been spotted with the Deagle, and they're just swinging and peeking him together, not giving him the room to play that clutch out. And so Eternal Fire, they do convert, they get that second 2 in a row, means Renegades, they're just going to have to bite the bullet now and play with pistols.
Yeah, like they've been doing all game, it feels like, but another eco and with far less to play with as well. Yeah, I'm liking this, what we're getting out of the CT side for Eternal Fire so far. And honestly, we were surprisingly impressed how Woxic's cooling back in the RMR. He had some good T rounds. They had some nice fast executes thrown in there. It was a lot of slow defaulting on Vertigo, especially where we saw them play it a couple of times. But that leans into the map that they're playing the style the map requires. Fast B flash play, it's only Glocks, they're going to commit, they're going to go with it. And X-File might find his ace, but Emor steals it right at the very end. No glory for him just yet on his first major, the young'un. And I mean, in a team with Woxic, Calix, and Xantares, you wouldn't expect that someone else would be the guy that we talk about when we say firepower. But
Yeah.
X-Cloud, no one to sleep on.
No, dude. I mean, back at the RMR, it felt like some of the games would just boil down to the performances that him and Xantares were having.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, he'd put up some very big numbers. So I think, a real kind of key point to keep an eye on was how would he fare. Now, the pressure, was already intense enough at the RMR with the prospect of getting to the major. Now that you're actually here, was that pressure going to make or break him? Well, he's having a good start to this one, isn't he? So that's going to bode well for the Eternal Fire squad.
Orbs out now, though, for Renegades, running it up on that A ramp. Alistair's looking for a pick, but Eternal Fire have dropped in some util. They're chilling out. Renegades are really hoping for aggression. In all of these rounds where they've been going back and forth between bomb sites, there's often been a player on their own, either Hats working up that A ramp and trying to fake and, catch a pick to make Eternal Fire panic. Good spot. Can he get the kill, though? Oh, he sees something, and it's a tag from the Orb. Swing comes out to assist, and there's no one here to help. Xantares gets out for free. That nade might finish the job, and it certainly will. Alistair dead, and not a teammate in sight to trade. Eternal Fire sneak back in a 5-on-4.
Yeah, you can take Xantares out of big, but you can't take the big out of Xantares. That nade was clean. Oh, yeah, front short denies this aggro to the Renegades. And I mean, already this is like a bit of a rough spot to be in. You're going to have the util to try and launch a kind of mini exec as this goes in, right? You've got that wall of smokes now, one of them, but it only offers a path up through short. And this is something Eternal Fire know. They're not really concerned with peeking ramp at this point. All their attention is on this short side, and the util's done a great job of slowing down this plant. Now they move in on the smoke fade. They're already up in the face of the Renegades, and suddenly it's only Inns left standing. Oh, caught trying to go back. And Hat's now at ramp, very, very low on HP. Just slipped under the radar.
Wow.
He's going to get spammed out by xCloud.
I think Renegades bled about as much as they could out of that round. I really like the fake tap by Sicko at 20 seconds, right? That bomb needs to go down. They have the smoke in play, but he realizes what Eternal Fire are doing. They've been so aggressive to deny these plants on A. Now they give it up for free, and you know, if Renegades are wondering why, it's because the util's available. You got a molly, you got an HE, you can just blow up the planter. So Renegades fake it out, but the cover isn't there. Everyone gets cleaned up on trade, and even a smoke spam to finish off. Such a clean round for Eternal Fire, and considering that was all off the back of the pick down ramp, woo, Renegades, they didn't have a chance.
Yeah, man. I mean, this was kind of how what they were doing on like their Vertigo back at the RMR as well. You know, they'll go all in on trying to win that first ramp fight, but the moment they get it in gun rounds, where, like you say, they've got the mollies, they've got the nades, the AWP on Woxic also helps in like that you know, retake setup of spamming the planter. They'll then fall back and they'll kind of give you this false sense of security that you're getting to play your round, you're getting to run and execute. And in reality, you know, they're poised for the retake. Now, that's a good opener out of Inns, right? Just the disrespect, smoke push up through the short side. Calyx on the receiving end of it. Hasn't really had to catch a pace like that out of Renegades just yet. It's been rather slow, rather measured thus far. Now, will it lead to much more than that?
His teammate Khan called his smoke was down on the bomb site, so he went back for it. 2 nades. He's going to lob them both in. No. Saves the second. If he did, that would have been a kill. An equalizer, perhaps. Maybe a little later. Antares, it looks good. On the money. Hats is dead, and these pistols churned up to half health or lower. Woxic and Antares are good for the job. Nice deke from Sicko, but planting is not a hope, it's a dream. And it's a nightmare right now for Renegades. Just getting picked apart on the ramp. Sicko looking for another headshot, and it's not to be. 5-1 for Eternal Fire, on fire, and things are looking really solid right now. Renegades can't seem to get their foot in the door.
Yeah, they're calling in a pause, you know, very early on in the grand scheme of things, but they need to try and fix this. They need to try and remedy it, or else it's going to very, very quickly get out of hand, isn't it?
I mean, money's building. Woxic can get the AWP in play. That's terrifying just off of spawns alone on a map like Vertigo. Like, you can't even always predict where a CTA WP is going to be starting on this map. It will so often be spawn-based, taking a quick B peek, you know, often flashed out. You'll still get that kill. So many options on either side of A ramp. You can even go deep middle if Eternal Fire have the util to peek. And I'm sure they do. They have been loving this map as of recent. Renegades hating it right now, but they've got their AWP back in. And the big mistake last time was just not covering Alistair. He didn't have that assistance on the ramp when Xantares chased him down going wide. So as long as he has a little bit more bodyguarding in this round, we hope the Orb can get away with something. He's going to actually hold for his teammates to clear middle, and Woxic is already here. Yeah,
you know, we haven't really had too much mid yet out of Renegades, so they're finally going to try give it a look in, try give it a fight early. But Eternal Fire, on the back of having, you know, Xantares at ramp, they are they're doubled up over here in middle. It's not going to be an easy path like Renegades hoped it would be. If it's just that AWP in mid, maybe you feel comfortable fighting it. You know, you can flash him off angles. You've got options. With that double setup in middle, it scared them away from it. And so they're going to look for avenues elsewhere, right? They say if they're double mid, something else has got to give. Something else has got to be a little bit weaker. And they're hoping that that's the A-bomb site.
It's all temporary, though. Eternal Fire is so floaty in the CT side, and that's doing them great favors. Yeah, Sicko got wallbanged there, right? The flash was to get Alistair on the mid angle, but the AWP fired off as he got blinded and shot Sicko through the ladder wall. Oh, the nade. You can put in Liaz low as well. This util is dirty. They're going to flash peek for the boost, and oh, there's some dead men round the corner. Xantares gets 2. He stays on it as well. He doesn't want to cut dry with a double, but he will die as a result. They know Emo's still here, stuck at short, and he will be able to get down into his cubby, causing a commotion with 30 seconds.
Hang on a moment, this has gotten very, very weird. Emo's now in the back line, playing around the bomb. He's not even aggressing. He's not looking to fight this. Renegades have got to go back and clear out this player in the back line. But it's not just Emo. xCloud pushed through B and is now waiting here with him. Even though you've dealt with the first, you're still screwed. Shot in the back.
Wow.
It's a lovely little bait and switch over at the ramp, just playing around that dropped bomb. And you've got to be impressed with what we're getting out of Eternal Fire right now.
Yeah.
You know, not only are the setups good out of spawn, they're doing doing a great job of kind of, you know, considering Renegades started this game trying to be the ones manipulating rotations, they're the ones getting manipulated. They know kind of when to, you know, fall back into this more passive stance over a day, and likewise, they know when to get aggressive. That round there, the ultimate payoff was just finding the bomb in the 3v2.
Yeah, the most frustrating part about that is X-Cloud finally pushes B, and they've been waiting for it all game long. Fast techs out middle, nades could be good, but it's all about the gunfights. You need to draw your weapons out. Emo doubles down, and Alistair trying to run at them, but that's the bomb now loose. And Renegades were not committed, were not ready to go. Sicko dropped his mid to B smoke, but they know exactly where he is. And Antares cleans it up, 13-2 on the man Antares, and Eternal Fire are just sweeping the CT side right now. Another buy, another AWP, another chance, but it needs to come in here and now, or Renegades will get left by the wayside.
Yeah, Woxic has kind of a spawn to go for this pick if he wanted to, down towards ramp, but instead, we'll lean back towards mid with this AWP again, electing to go for that double mid setup early.
Just look at how many HE grenades we've already seen from Eternal Fire that are like lineups. They just did it there. They lobbed it through the mid window so it lands onto anyone taking a spawn and trying to fight middle. It means Eternal Fire can peek deep. It means they get free, unpunished damage. They have so many different HEs to cheese damage, to cheese kills, and that's not even talking about the bomb plant nades that are, you know, standard, expected at this point on this map. Eternal Fire coming very well prepped for Vertigo.
Mate, even, you know, like the little nade there to try and catch players boosting is a lovely example of what you're talking about, right? It's a free bit of damage onto Hats, who's now pretty much at half health, hasn't even seen an opponent yet in the round. And they're even juggling this util around. I like that from X-Cloud, right? Because now he's kind of playing the more dangerous angle. He's up close. His teammate who's passive back in the site can lob this molly setup in with the flash to try set him up. And if he dies, you're not going to lose that util. You still get to run this little attempt at grabbing the info down towards B ramp. They're still juggling this util around. Are they going to try it again?
Another flash? It's coming over. Emor, give it a go. Nade out. They weren't ready for the second time. Liaz will trade it, though. That will be temptation in and of itself. Renegades are 4-on-3. They've not had these options on an execute just yet. Calix gets pushed forward by mollies, but this could be fine. The smoke is good for him. They're going through it right now. He is on the side. He is on the edge, and they are going to be knocked off two and almost the third. Pistol out with a missed AWP shot. Alistair will recover, but there's simply no time. 15 on the clock and 2 up close. He's got to hit some bangers, and it's not to be. Eternal Fire, keep it clean again. Money don't matter when you're leading this much, and so many reinforcements at that B bomb site. Renegades, this has got to be intensely difficult to play against right now. They just won't give it up. They won't relax. And when you think you finally cleared the double B push, there's a third man, of course.
Yeah, dude, it's just a lot of variety out of Eternal Fire. Like, you can understand why Renegades are feeling like they're one step behind, because it's like as they adjust to whatever Eternal Fire have been doing, they kind of swap it up entirely, right? That round, it was a lot more about fighting and being aggressive, constricting the movements of Renegades, fighting for that ramp control. And don't get me wrong, you know, we've seen those little pop flashes over the top, but to go for it twice in a row to make a call like that is ballsy through and through. No, it is super exciting, right? Because one of the conversations we had back at the RMR was how Woxic, you know, he used to kind of be like a pretty like relaxed guy, you know, wouldn't be the person like putting himself with tremendous responsibility. You'd have him show up, drop like 25 kills with the AWP, and you'd be right as rain. But now he's in this like position of real responsibility, kind of power within the team. And it feels like it's doing him a world of good. Like, he might not put up these crazy numbers all the time, but he's actually done a very sound job in terms of calling for this team.
Yeah, he's just playing solid CS. This guy's not like throwing himself into loads of fights. He doesn't need to when he has some of the stars on his roster available. And again, the variety you've been talking about, Harry, these setups, they just keep coming in. Another freshie. The double mid setup, you often use a one-way here with a smoke dropped on the ground, but no need when there are two men. That's a guarantee. If anyone wide swings it, there is physically no way to kill both players unless Eternal Fire whiff. And, well, I don't need to tell you, but they ain't whiffing right now. More lineups deep down the ramp. Sometimes that counters with actually smoke the Renegades try and throw to get up on short side. But what really matters is this mid-crunch, and it's going to be a cruncher right Hats. On his own, core, Emo dropped off. He got somewhat impatient. He might get everything for it. 2 kills and then the 3rd swing. Sicko gets shut down and Renegades are nowhere near that bomb.
Calyx has hit this time, hit this window, that's a freebie, and it's feeling like one of these games where Eternal Fire, they feel like they're in the heads of Renegades, and Renegades feel that as well, right? Like, think about that round there. They got hard counted trying something for like the first time, really. Yeah. Like this triple mid play, not something we've seen out of them apart from like the Eco Tech 9 rushes. Liaz gonna die, pushing out into middle, and so it's 9-1. Yeah, Eternal Fire, man. It's so funny, like even that smoke out of Xantares that counters the Nafty smoke over towards the short side comes in before Renegades had even thrown the damn smoke. It's like Eternal Fire are just a second ahead in the server in terms of what's happening and reacting to it.
Yeah, it's unreal they even hold this mid setup for as long as they do. Mid was silent the entire round for Renegades. They made no noise, they threw no nades, and obviously it's Emo who gets impatient. He tried to rotate, but in doing so he catches 2 kills and sells the position of his teammate perfectly. The Renegades aren't ready for a second man, so another pacey one. It might be your best bet. It's offered Renegades openers. It's given them 5-on-4s, but closing rounds has been the problem. Again, this ramp utility for Xantares, picking a shadow, pick a spot on the wall to line it up. Renegades have got this control. That's nice, but again, no util on a round like this. Just 2k in the bank. So they won't be able to throw a wall of smokes. And at that point, you can see Eternal Fire still fighting for the short control. Calyx eventually gives it up. But will Renegades do the same? They're scared of their flank. They've got to check the back line. They might even fully rotate out while they do.
What you'll find is this will probably be one of these games where Renegades, you know, they get like that 1 round to return to form and suddenly they're able to get a couple more in before the end of the half, right? But it kind of hinges on getting that 1 round soon or else you don't get it at all. You know, you just need to move past that idea of we can't do anything right. And not the best start, but you know, it is one of these kind of partial buys, one of these partial investments. So weren't expecting too much to happen here. They're going to try and run X-Cloud down. He's good to hold on, drops the bomb out the front of B, and even goes back in, swinging for more. A 3rd in the round, the hat trick for him, and 10 on the board for Eternal Fire. They're now up in double digits. Renegades still with that 1 solitary round to their name. 1 little pistol that they couldn't even convert. Oh,
that hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, the infinite KD Zywoo 11-0 is pretty nice, but 15-2 for Xantares, certainly no complaints from this guy either. Playing towards A, often quick rotating to mid and B when needed, when the bomb is down. Another AWP for Alistair. All he's done with it is sit bottom A and look for picks, and he even had to throw it over to Sicko the last time he had it. Quicker B approach, jump for Liaz, almost gets him killed. No one dies, but the health, well, no one wins there either. Calyx got a deep ramp smoke to try and cut off anyone in this bottom forklift position, but they want to fight for it. In stays in front of the box. Got to be scared of a flashbang at this point. It does come through. Calyx dead as Alistair ends up after the molly, and for the first time, Renegades have got this pick untraded, and Eternal Fire have accepted it back to the bomb site.
Yeah, being real, mate, this is what Renegades have been waiting for the entire half, is a bit of ramp aggression to finally go their way, right? To finally punish Eternal Fire on the back of someone overextending, and Calyx has offered them that opportunity, that second wind in this round, in this game. Emo, do you want to drop the ladder with the AWP? It doesn't look like he does, so he's going to start to walk out of there, but he's still getting a lot of info on the back of this mid play. Might even be able to clear one of the 2 sites, right? If he goes ramp, he's going to get all that info. If he goes B, he frees up a rotation, and that's happening now. X-Cloud is moving away from B to go and reinforce this A bomb site.
Need to have the bomb on someone with health here, right? And they do right now, but these nades, these mollies, they're all still available for Eternal Fire. These dunks could be a problem. In they go, it chips away again. 2 HEs, a molly to follow. Everyone's in the red, but Alistair, and he needs to step up. He had to offer his AWP up to literally anyone at this point. Woxy gets hurt on that molly. Oh, the bomb goes back, 20 seconds, he's got it! And Emo hits 2. Xantares has cleaned up the A site in the meantime, and you're just fighting, you're just playing for stats, for kills, for glory, and you're gonna get none of it. Liaz in a 1v3, and it's unwinnable, safe to say. Bomb is below, and so he'll just take the kill that he gets, but that's still 11-1 for Eternal Fire. That hesitation, that rotate back, dear oh dear, that
That's-
left Renegades in the dirt.
That's the kind of in your head you are at this scoreline, right? And that's only going to deflate you further. You try to mix it up, you try to lean back towards B, and one guy who then you kind of learn was super low the entire time as well, goes on to close out the entire round, leaving you in this unwinnable position. You know, I don't want to like be beating a dead horse here, but Renegades, man, it's so brutal. And if they weren't in their heads before at 10-1 down, losing that round there after getting the opening pick, something they've been waiting for this entire first half, that's going to do it to you.
It is like sick poetry, isn't it, right? Like at this point, every gun round they've lost, they've called out another timeout. Every time they've left A, they've walked into a flank, or less so left. But, you know, X-Floud at the bottom of ramp with Antares in that 3-on-3. And right there again, trying to leave at 20 seconds. And even though it was, you know, in some sense, the right call B was completely open, that's because Eternal Fire had them locked in. And Renegades were not ready for an AWP behind, gives them no chance. Dear oh dear, this is dominant, Harry. And I don't know if it's going to get better before it gets worse. Woxic's now finally throwing himself into early fights again, picking ins down on the A side, but it's a 4-man B crunch and X-Floud. Given his 1v1s, he'll take him with glee. 1 kill, but now Renegades, they've at least got some space.
Yeah, for the first time ever, it's not like a huge B lean, right? There is this scrambled rotate out of Emor. Maybe not in the ideal position. Flash is going to go over, and it has blinded Liaz, but the spot's not in. Emor doesn't know. Liaz is right next to him right now. Emor's fallen back, and so Liaz is still just waiting for this golden opportunity. Going to try and tee it up with the flashbang. Alistair lobbing that over. Liaz now takes a swing. He's seen Emor over on default. Nice. The spam is good. Liaz is pulling this one back. Him and Sicko with a killer piece have managed to make this a 3-on-3.
Nades, Harry. The nades have always been the problem. The mollies, 2 of them, and HE as well. This AWP's even holding the cross. On the spot, Woxy can instantly lob a Molotov up. He's in a position for a lineup, but he wants to get that instant pixel shot off first. There it goes, molly in. Alistair will get the plot, but the nade could be a problem. Only just sneaking out in time. And again, Renegades, their health bars are never full, always in the red. And maybe better off dead. Calyx will die, but Antares is still giving it all he's got.
Liaz up here on double. He's the problem. He's the troublemaker. He's the guy who could put this second round on the board. He might have to. Everyone else is low. He's losing his teammates left and right. And now they know about him. They've got him pinned in. He's not going to go swinging. Not yet. And then finally a 1-for-1. Only Woxic left standing. Low HP on Sicko. The bomb planted for him. It's a tap out of Woxic. Sicko's going to take the swing, but a misflick. And that might have sealed his fate. He taps it again. He might get the kill, but it's a second round for Renegades. Finally coming through the pipeline after 11 in a row for Eternal Fire.
Yeah, you talked about a prospect and maybe that one round that could reinvigorate them, but even if it does, Harry, and up against unlimited money for the rest of the half, they've got to go 11-4 at best, and then they need the pistol. It's a a dream. It's a fairy tale for Renegades to pull this game back, but we'll have to see. Nice round out of Liaz, definitely right from that flash peek into the spam off of the player trying to escape from default. He stalls so long on the bomb site, just long enough that you could see the Sicko wins it to a couple of bait peeks back on the stairs. Renegades, they don't have a lot though. They lose 4 players, or all players rather. So Util's again going to be lacking in this rifle round. Eternal Fire's nothing of the sort. Calyx is just peppering shots through the smoke right now.
Yeah, you know, I'll say this much though. You can already tell that like the nerves have crept up on Eternal Fire, right? The nades that have often done, I would say it feels like kind of 40 damage a piece. A lot of them have gone out very, very early to try and stop this quick aggression. To leave them with it. By the time this site take comes in, they will at least have Molotovs to hold on to. But after going a man down, Renegades, this could be a path to a third. Antares lobs that nade up and out of there. So now he's collected a little pile of grenades here.
It's terrifying.
He's got 3. Look at him, he's storing them in his cheeks.
Forget dropping at CT Dust 2. This is the spot, because not only can he lob them on ramp when they're setting up, but if they get to the site, say a wall comes down and he's not ready to throw them, he can get them on default. He can, again, cause problems. But Renegades, 5-on-4, a bit of a breather, a fake out imminent. Still got 2 players on B, but they're throwing the A smokes. Those nades are going to come in big again, and Renegades haven't learned their lesson. 2 more HEs do in ins. and even more onto Sicko. They are rotating out. They're running amok into B, but xFloud never left the back of quad, and they never looked at him. That silencer eludes their ears, and now in a 2-on-4 with 10 seconds, it's a save again.
Dude, I love what they're doing with Xantares over here on the A site. It's very, very pretty, isn't it? You know, you're only really fighting like 2 guys as you get up ramp, but it feels like you're fighting a whole army. There's just artillery raining around you as you're trying to get up ramp, taking a lot of damage there. And, you know, you can easily make the argument, oh, well, just don't go top ramp. But when you're only getting forced into these short side execs, we've already seen a couple of them out of Renegades, and they just get torn through once you're only worrying about that one avenue. It's a really nice bit of CT side conditioning. I think a lot of teams would rather, you know, wait for those nades for the bomb plant, for a guaranteed like bomb denial. Xantares is feeling comfortable enough to throw them on timings that is just devastating these ramp plays.
He's also got enough to, you know, do both. He can play both sides of the card, can't he? And yeah, it's not, I wouldn't even call it a fight. I just call it a drone strike. Like, what can you do? You physically can't beat it.
There is no counter in it.
Get away, run, find a vehicle. I don't know.
You can try nade him. Maybe that sends all the nades flying everywhere. But even that kind of requires like a level of just knowledge that maybe you don't have in this position if you're Renegades.
And you probably don't know exactly where he's throwing them from anyway, right? Like, this isn't something you've seen before. How often do you see these triple nade boost drops? And AWP in mid, Woxic hits these every damn day, but they have flashed this angle in the past. Don't want to this time. Good bait, though. I don't know whether that was purpose or not. They show their fingers, and he fires off. Now they know the AWP's here. When they found that info, they have often left. And so, again, Renegades, they leave Woxic in middle. They want to go back to a bomb site. This spam is important. They would love a molly to clear out xFloud, but they don't have it. He can hear micro jumps. Got to be very careful. Who will be the first to fight? xFloud flashed over the top, and Hats is blind. It's beautiful again for Eternal Fire, and they slink out a man up.
Renegades are just going to be left in like a last-ditch attempt to hit this B site, right? Round 15, they're running out of time. They got 25 seconds as they try to go. They got no utility outside of one smoke. It's going to get lobbed over with the flash, and they're churned up. They are melted. xFloud with a lovely little sight hold, going to close it out with 4. It's another near ace for this guy. And Eternal Fire, they are running away with Vertigo. It's not even a contest yet, and it hasn't really felt like one since like the first round.
Yeah, I mean, Harry, you said back at the RMR when we saw Eternal Fire, when they would win games, it was often the Xantares and the xFloud show. Well, that much is proved to be the case again, right? xFloud 23-6, Xantares 18-3. Like, this is just dominant. These are KDs that shouldn't be allowed, and Renegades, they can't really do much to stop them right now. And again, I feel like Renegades T-sides just have been the problem. They were the problem on Nuke against Forza. They were the problem back at Katowice, and they're the problem again here and now. A CT side comeback with 2 rounds in the buffer doesn't scream much hope. This is an Eternal Fire game to lose.
Yeah, at a bare minimum, like, you're going to struggle to have as much impact with the nades on this T side, perhaps, is what they were doing in that CT half, which feels a bit wild to say, but there is, you know, there's still potential for it. Like, you can nade the sandbags here. You can do some nice nade stacks onto the boost in the A site, or Tetris over at B.
No.
This aggro, this is going to sail them down the river. They really need this pistol round. Renegades, if they want to have a chance to stop themselves going 0-2, they need this round, and they need to start building upon it. The awareness, man. Eternal Fire have got a Molotov in the pistol. They've got a Molotov, but they're not lobbing it onto the sandbags. Instead, they're going to use it on the boost. And so Hats, that was the chance. That was the opportunity, but it sailed on past him. And now Eternal Fire own this A bomb site.
It's so clean, isn't it? So methodical, and Eternal Fire just annoying pistol to play against. Inns tries to get aggressive to take that early space, and he gets late peek down on the ramp. Retake is on. They've got a kit available. Flashes are going in, but no smoke fall. That sight emo will fall. Xantares just runs in. Look at the duel. Look at the deathmatch, and he'll get away with another headshot as Alistair is left in a 1v3, shut out by Eternal Fire. 14-2 now, and this feels like it's inevitable at this point. Trying to equalize, trying to go 1-1, trying to make that top 16 dream a reality for Eternal Fire. And those odds insurmountable at this point.
Yeah, pretty sick, you know, like...
I've seen some odds, Harry. Those are some odds.
God, it's kind of rough, isn't it? incredible for Eternal Fire. And also, I gotta say this, like, you never even really needed to see plan B. Like for the B hold, for example, it was just the same thing. Like flash the guy to peek down B stairs, flash him again. Yeah,
maybe
if he dies, someone else can come do it.
Hey, you said you know we like the CT nades for Eternal Fire. Well, they've got a double nade stack of their own, the Renegades, and even have hats ready with a smoke on sandbags. This is not an A play right now, though. Eternal Fire, they've got their setups, they've got their tricks, and they'll lob in more dunks towards the Tetris position. I like that molly as well. It lands on like back double, forcing a player to either go forward or backward, either into the nades or into quad. After Eternal Fire throws 3 sets of util on B, they will up and leave. And Renegades are now no longer in that position to play the double nades. Again, you can do it for the plant. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, if anyone's going to know the value of having really grimy util that's super specific, it's going to be a guy like Xantares. Now, they are moving up the ramp in towards this nade stack that could miss the mark if they're... it's pretty light as these go over. They do damage on the 2 players at top ramp, but everyone else is churned up. There was a...
I don't know how. Just off of the aggro, he must have run into it. That's crazy. But it was never going to amount to much, was it? Liaz on alert, and he will at least get him at 10, but that's of little value, and Renegades will be falling short in this one as well. The force buy doesn't do him justice. Eternal Fire, this is dominant, Harry. We've had some pretty one-sided games today, right? NA obviously got battered and bruised in those opening matchups, but this is something else entirely.
Yeah, dude, like we said we wanted a lot out of Liaz. We were going to need that. We're getting that. He's got 14, and the rest of his team have 18 combined. So, like, he's doing everything he can. I think it's a shame that you're not going to have more rounds to play with, really. Like, we never even get to gauge the Renegade CT side. For all we know, they could have the best CT side going in the world on Vertigo, and we wouldn't even get to see it because they've had to force up into this round. They're left with, you know, an investment, we'll call it, up
Harry,
against 15.
They could have the best CT side in the world, but unfortunately, Counter-Strike is a game of 2 sides.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter if you're really good at one side, if you suck at the other, because this is the result. This is the beating. This is the battering. And this is Eternal Fire, 1 round away from going 1-on-1 and at least giving themselves a sigh of relief. That's how the nade killed him. It came over from short side. Sicko threw it, and it bounced above the sandbag. So it went to its mark, but Alistair was already low from the bullets. So not ideal.
One of the things that does suck, though, about not having a CT side to play is Alistair, I think, could have shown a lot more on that AWP here. You know, like in the first half, T-side AWPing on Vertigo, especially when you are at like a huge deficit, you're just kind of getting out-read, out-maneuvered, out-positioned all across the board. It's so hard to find impact with. You know, me and Devilwalker were even talking about that, and he said he feels like there's maybe even like more options for like a T Inferno AWP at times than on Vertigo. A lot of it is just hoping they over-aggressive ramp, they try to fight you there, or maybe you get a really good B spawn and you want to take that kind of coin toss fight onto an early player there. This is Renegade's one chance to keep themselves in this. If not, it's going to be a crazy dominant game going against them, and they'll fall down 0-2.
Look how much space Eternal Fire have just seconds into the round. They're already running their AX. Everyone is here right now. Calix is holding the flank, but they will be running in, smoking the Molotovs. Emor checking close, but Alistair gets away with 1. And there's a couple of kills out of the site players. Alistair just continuing to run wild. Farm up that ult money, perhaps. It's Calix and Woksig left up, but the aggression doesn't stop. Hats needs to look down, but Calix fires right back up. And Eternal Fire want to get weird in this mid-round. The bomb may be loose, but they fancy their odds.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to go together here. It looked like Calix wanted to go up ramp, but now he's moved back in to join Woksig. Actually dropping down, looking for that little nade line up that molly. Only 1 out of Woksig before he's traded, and now Calix at this point, you know, 1 versus 3, it's not impossible, it's not unheard of. That bomb is out on an island though, he's going to get given this first fight, and if he got that, maybe the ball could get rolling. On the back of missing that opportunity, he's going to have to go forth and create his own fortunes here. Up through the short side, in he comes, double-layered peak on this swing. Oh, it's close! That is almost a transfer! Calix, you weren't meant to win this round! 3 to his name now, and just Liaz left to beat. Oh, he's trying to hide, but he's gone! He's deleted, and Calix will close that out in the 1v3!
I don't know what was going on there. Was Liaz okay? He was just staring into the wall. Maybe he thought Calix wasn't walking up on him or something of the sort. But regardless of that, it's a sickening round to close out a very quick and easy map for Eternal Fire. That's got to feel good after fighting tooth and nail against Bad News Eagles, going the distance, 30 rounds, not able to close it, and then coming in like this. I mean, that's a statement piece for Eternal Fire. They're here to play. We're seeing new things on those CT sides. Those nades were incredible.